Fresh details emerge about wired and cash payments made to Bastard, owner of the Airport Security Management Company, arrested in the U.S. for drug trafficking. Tonight, we bring you details of court documents released to Joy News by the U.S. Department of Justice on the day government rejected suggestions the drug trafficking suspect is a financier of the NDC.
One of the reasons he gave was that the man was a financier of NDC. We don't know. We don't know. He has not financed NDC. And indeed, how would NDC want to give out someone who was a financier to the same government?
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
Top Story is brought to you by Bond Financial Services, your success, our passion. Belacra Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy, still 100% better germ protection. Also by Blue Rose Limited, Shelter for All, and Star Life Assurance. Fresh details have emerged about wired and cash payments made into the account of the Bastard owner of the Airport Security Management Company, arrested in the U.S. for drug trafficking. The U.S. Department of Justice has confirmed to Joy News Solomon Adalakwe received a cash deposit of $6,000 to facilitate the safe passage of the illicit drugs through the Kotoka International Airport. Now, the fresh details come on the day when government rejected accusations Mr. Adalakwe is a financier of the NDC, an allegation leveled by the MPP. Now, government is challenging the party to produce evidence to back its claims, and we will hear more on that shortly. But first, we have information the U.S. government will push for the maximum sentence of life imprisonment for the former boss of the Kotoka International Airport Security and his accomplices. The U.S. Department of Justice today gave us access to its official court documents filed at a court in the Southern District of New York, scheduled for hearing on the 26th of July at 4:30 p.m. exactly. Now, my colleague Fred Smith has been studying the documents and joins me in the studio. Fred, we're learning a few things in this particular document we received from the U.S. Justice Department. Now, key amongst which is cash and wired amounts Ms. Adalakwe either received or was in the process of receiving when indeed he was busted.
Yeah, the document we received from the U.S. Justice Department is saying that there were some conversations between undercover agents and those who conspired to export heroin to the United States. And here are some of the conversations. In those conversations, it was agreed that CS2 is an agent.
An agent of the DEA, that's the Department of
yes, exactly.
Drug Enforcement.
So, yes, so they went undercover. So CS2 is one of them, and they agreed that he would pay Pinedo Rieda. He is one of those attempting to export the heroin, $28,000 for 1 kilogram of heroin, and that CS2, that same agent, would pay Adalakwe of the Ghanaian security agent that is being talked about, Adalakwe, $8,000 to guarantee the safe passage of the heroin through the airport.
At this stage, according to the documents, $8,000 Adalakwe was expecting to get from this deal.
Exactly. So at that same meeting, CS3, another agent of the Drug Enforcement Agency of the United States, said that he had hidden the kilogram of heroin inside his laptop bag. Now, Adalakwe then instructed CS3 to give the computer to an associate of himself, Adalakwe, his associate, and told CS3, the second agent we're talking about, that after CS3 passed through the security checkpoint at the airport, the computer would be returned to CS3 again. And so that was the assistance Mr. Adalakwe was given to the second agent.
And what was he going to get from that assistance?
Well, also at that meeting, CS3 gave Adalakwe $6,000 in cash to guarantee the safe passage of the heroin through the airport.
So that's confirmation that he indeed was given $6,000 at that particular point.
Exactly. So
but that's not all, I guess.
That's not all. At the meeting referred to in this document that we have, Mr. Adalakwe agreed that CS3, the second agent, would wire an additional $4,000 to him after testing the heroin in New York City.
That's a total, if you put that together, the amount he received was $6,000. Exactly. He was expecting $4,000 to be wired to him once the deal was done, making a total of $10,000. But we also understand that the case will be heard specifically at the Southern District of New York on the 26th of July this year, 4:30 p.m. to be specific. But do we know the specific charges he's facing?
Well, the indictment charges each of the defendants with one count of conspiring to export heroin and to distribute heroin, knowing and intending that it will be imported into the United States. That the charges will carry a maximum sentence of life imprisonment.
And subsequent to this, we've confirmed with the department responsible for prosecution that they are going to push for the maximum sentence of life imprisonment for him and his accomplices. Finally, Fred, we understand that there is some sort of a terrorism element to all this.
Exactly. The prosecution is being handled by the Office of Terrorism and International Narcotics Unit of the U.S. Justice Department. Now, the Assistant United States Attorney himself, Michael Ferrara, is in charge of this prosecution. It tells you how serious the U.S. government takes this matter.
Thank you, Fred. And if you join us on News Now, there's another startling case we just again chanced on today, again from the U.S. Attorney's Office, about another case of a Ghanaian, this time a Nima resident who has been jailed 18 years. Again, he was bribing his way at the Kotoka International Airport and sending heroin to the United States of America. We'll tell you more about that if you join us on News Night. But let me stay with this particular story a while longer, because today government rejected accusations that Mr. Adelakwe is a financier of the NDC, an allegation leveled by the opposition New Patriotic Party. Now, the Deputy Information Minister, Mohammed Murtala, is challenging the party to produce the evidence if they have any.
The decision to award that contract was not determined by government. It was determined by the airport management company. They determined who should. But let me also state that I've heard a lot of stories. The American government has publicly indicated that they were able to arrest that gentleman through the collaboration they had with the security agencies in Ghana. I mean, this clearly tells you that if government was not so much concerned about ensuring that wrong do not happen, I believe that this arrest wouldn't have been effected. They have publicly indicated. I've listened to people who even claim some of the papers, and one of the reasons he gave was that the man was a financier of NDC. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. He has not financed NDC. And indeed, how would NDC want to give out someone who was a financier to the same government? In fact, the Americans have made it very clear that the arrest was effected through the collaboration they had with the security agencies in Ghana. And that point must be made very clear. So the contract was not in secrecy. It was through tender, and that contract was awarded, except that probably the General Secretary has some information we do not have. And I would advise that if he has any information we do not have, as a responsible secretary of a party, the most responsible thing he should do is to give the information to the security agencies.
And I'm delighted to say that I've been joined by the General Secretary of the NPP, Kojo Usefriye. Thank you, sir, for your time here on Top Story. So do you have the evidence to back your claim that Mr. Adelakwe indeed is a financier of the NDC?
Yes, but first of all, let me thank you for the backdrop information that you gave to our listeners. It indeed confirms, our case, that instead of this government being interested in whitewashing itself, it ought to take our call for the inquiry, public inquiry and investigation into the mode surrounding the award of the security contract, to Sohin Security, as well as its operations at the airport over the years. That is what this government should be concerned with. Let the U.S. deal with the criminal matter that is before it. But we ought to get to the bottom of the matter here in Ghana. How did this man, who has no experience whatsoever in security matters, get this job? My investigation and our investigation confirms that he is a financier of the NDC. But it is not interesting to note that Murtala, who is, at all times material, was in the northern regions or elsewhere, campaigning to become an MP. Well, how would he know all financiers of the NDC? How would he know?
Okay,
And
that
for
is
him
why
to come
that is why
and
we
claim
will
that-
shortly
for him
that
to
is
come
why
and
we will
claim that
shortly
the man
hear
is not a financier.
that is why we will shortly hear from the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, who will join us shortly on this particular subject. But let me ask you, you said you have done some investigations. What's the nature of these investigations? What is the evidence, documentary, if any, that proves that indeed he's financed the NDC?
Well, we have it on proper authority that at all times material. Solomon had been one of the financiers of the NDC, especially during this election. And it appears that this was a golden handshake, to thank him and pat him at his back for a job well done. That is why, in spite of the fact that he had no experience whatsoever in security, he's giving such a very sensitive position to man. And a public inquiry would unearth all these and other information that others also have.
We will
And so
interrogate.
if this government is not afraid, let it have a public inquiry.
We will
And we will
interrogate.
come and present to it all the information that we have.
We'll interrogate the public inquiry call shortly, but my final question on this evidence bit is really, you have only conjectured, so as far as I'm concerned, on this particular matter. Are you willing to withdraw your accusations until you indeed provide any evidence, because this is a party you're talking about?
My position is not conjecture. These are based on proper authority. I have it on proper authority that this man has been a financier of the NDC. Let them disown him. But a public inquiry, when it is set up, we would go and then give the evidence. I'm being told to give the evidence to national security. I have stated in my statement that we would not trust the national security for purposes of investigating this matter, because the man has been said to be a very good friend of the Brolati. Well, I mean, in the name of God, how would anybody expect me to go and give the information that I have to a body that is also being, involved in this matter, at least on the face of it? So let us have the inquiry. We would go there, but and the government will stop being interested in only whitewashing itself, instead of getting to the bottom of this matter. I think that Ghanaians deserve better. Ghanaians deserve to know why, in the name of God, this man was given a top job of this nature, only to be involved in such, crime against the people.
Mr. Osofri, kindly hold the line for me, because I've just been joined on the line by your colleague, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC on the line, Mr. George Lawson. Thank you, sir, for your time. Mr. Lawson, is Mr. Solomon Adelekwe known to you?
No, as my record, the records of my party, he is not a member of our party. You see, MPP, some of them, they MPP members, some of them are drug peddlers. And it's a fact. Amwat is in jail, so they want to also buckle up into it. They are known, some of their members are known to be high-time drug peddlers. So we do not have in our party. So they want us to have by force. This man is not a member of our party.
Okay, that's a quick interjection. Just a quick interjection. Sorry, you've said your answer quickly. Your answer to my question is that he is not a member of your party.
He's not a member of
what I really want to know, what I'm really interested in, is if he's ever financed your party, although he's not a member.
Not at all. What he's saying, what the NPP General Secretary says, is just a blatant lie. It's a blatant lie. They have been lying. Even the court, things that they've not presented to, they've given it to. So this is for, do you trust them? You need to not to trust those people. They just want to drag us into it. They don't have anything to say. They are known. Some of their members are known, and it's a fact. They have been jailed for it, and none of us. So they want to drag us into this, and will not be dragged into this matter.
Let's move on to the second issue that they touched on. Let's interrogate it a bit. They are asking for a public inquiry into this particular matter. Is this something that the NDC is willing to support?
With this public inquiry, it should be something that should be done honestly. For now, I'm sure today, Afraja mentioned some printing houses. Very soon, they'll attach those printing, align them to NDC if it doesn't go for them. That is what they are doing. If somebody has genuinely won a contract and is been given a job, just like those who printed the pink sheet, very soon you see them aligning them with the NDC.
So the answer to this question is that you are supporting the public inquiry, or are not supporting it?
It's not in good faith. What if they are actually, it's not in good faith? You are accusing us. not even not even alleging, saying about the matter of fact. That's what he's saying, not even alleging. So what he's saying is not in good faith.
Okay,
thank you. Already you have demonized us, and now you are asking for a public inquiry.
Okay.
You demonize us. I mean, something that is not true. But your members, the people that you preside, the party that you preside over, some of them are languishing in jail. And MPs for that fact, a long
okay. I'm just running out of time. Thank you very much, George Lawson. Final 30 seconds. Final 30 seconds, you said, John, you say you don't trust the national security, so you will not hand over whatever evidence you have to them. Will you hand over to the police then?
First of all, let us all agree. If the NDC agrees with us that a public inquiry...
They don't agree with you. They don't. We just heard it from the General Secretary. They don't agree with you.
I thought I heard him that he does. But
no, he says that it's not in good faith.
For the NDC, because I've heard Yabuatinjan this morning, who agrees with us that a public inquiry into this matter would be appropriate. So Lawson certainly does not speak for the NDC. He does not even understand what goes on in the NDC. Otherwise, when his national organizer says that he agrees with us, he would have come to confess on your program. But he does not speak for the NDC. So let him go back and get the information from him.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. That's Kojo Sefriye. He is the General Secretary of the NPP, speaking to us about this particular matter. If you join us on Newsnight, we'll bring you another interesting revelation we are learning today again from our U.S. sources at the State Department in charge of justice, and they are telling us about another case of a Ghanaian who has been sentenced to 18 years imprisonment in the USA by a district judge for indeed trafficking heroin to the United States of America. He was bribing his way all along the Kotoka International Airport. We'll be looking at that. And also another call has been made supporting that of the NPP, asking for a bipartisan inquiry into this. We'll be speaking to government about that call, also hearing from the parliamentary committee in charge of the interior. My name is Evan Spencer. This has been Top Story.